Prevalence of Agoraphobia. Hi, I'm Chris, and I help people who suffer from agoraphobia, anxiety, and panic attacks. Individuals that have anxiety, a relative with agoraphobia, experienced trauma or loss of a loved one, have a higher risk of agoraphobia. Women are more likely to have agoraphobia than men, and rates of agoraphobia are highest in adolescents and the elderly. Agoraphobia in men versus women. Rates of anxiety disorder tend to be higher in women, and agoraphobia is no exception. The research on women and agoraphobia has found that female to male ratio of agoraphobia prevalence ranges from 1.6 to 3.1. Thus, women are between 1.5 times and 3 times more likely to have agoraphobia than men. It is thought that the differences between men and women's agoraphobia rates are the results of sex hormones and the fact that females are more likely to be the victim of physical, mental, and child abuse. Women also tend to have more severe symptoms and experience more impairment from agoraphobia than men. On agoraphobia and men, research has found that there is a higher rate of alcoholism in men with the condition than with women. Agoraphobia in adults. Though women are more likely to experience it, agoraphobia in adults is relatively rare. Only about 1.3% of adults ever experience agoraphobia. The rates of agoraphobia are different for young and mature adults. In young adults, going to college or having an occupation seems to lower the risk of agoraphobia. College-aged individuals who are neither employed nor students nor trainees were twice as likely to have agoraphobia than their peers. Unlike what is observed in middle-aged adults, agoraphobia in young adults tends not to be associated with a panic disorder. Recently, it has been proposed that the prevalence of agoraphobia in older adults, those aged 65 and older, tend to be underreported. In mature adults, symptoms of agoraphobia, such as the tendency to remain at home, can be mistakenly attributed to poor health and the lack of social network. Rates of agoraphobia may be as high as 10.4% in individuals over than 65. Interestingly, agoraphobia and trauma are linked in this population. The major risk factors for developing late-onset agoraphobia include severe anxiety and major depression. Agoraphobia in children and adolescents. Agoraphobia in children is uncommon, but it can occur. Tantrums, clinging, crying, freezing up in situations that can trigger their fears are characteristics of agoraphobia in children. Compared to children and adults, agoraphobia in teens is relatively common and tends to be more severe. The rate of agoraphobia in adolescents aged 13 to 18 has been estimated to be 2.5%. Like adults, the prevalence of agoraphobia in adolescents are twice as high in females than males. In adolescence, the physical manifestation of excessive anxiety and agoraphobia are unique to each individual and may include muscle tensions and cramps, headaches, stomach aches, pain in limbs and the back, discomfort associated with puberty, fatigue, facial blotching and flushing, hyperventilating, sweating, trembling, startling easily. Agoraphobia in adolescents tend to be more severe than in other populations. Agoraphobia and co-occurring disorders. Agoraphobia often co-occurs with other disorders, for example, anxiety. And agoraphobia usually occur together, as anxiety is a risk factor for developing agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is also often confused with social anxiety disorder. However, agoraphobia and social anxiety differ in that social anxiety is a fear of being judged in specific situations, while agoraphobia is the fear of experiencing anxiety in a situation. Agoraphobia and social anxiety each result in an individual avoiding situations and can occur in the same individual. Panic disorders and agoraphobia can also occur together, as a person with a panic disorder is 20 times more likely to also have agoraphobia. Agoraphobia also strongly associated with higher rates of substance use, as individuals turn to substances to manage their anxiety symptoms. The relationship between agoraphobia and alcohol abuse is unique. Alcohol can decrease feelings of anxiety. Thus, alcohol is often abused by individuals with agoraphobia to manage the anxiety symptoms. On the other hand, alcohol abuse alters brain chemistry, promotes panic, and can increase anxiety over time. The result is that alcohol abuse worsens agoraphobia symptoms, even as agoraphobia results in a stronger dependency on alcohol. Agoraphobia treatment. When agoraphobia occurs alongside substance abuse, both must be addressed together to decrease the chances of relapse. Treating substance abuse without addressing the underlying anxiety leaves the individual open to seeking other ways to manage their stress. And please be sympathetic to people who suffer from agoraphobia and help them. Educate yourself and be there for them as a support structure. And thank you for listening. I'm Chris, and I help people with agoraphobia, panic attacks, and anxiety